Hello, everyone. My name's Advait, and I'm your host for the Beyond the Screen podcast. Today, we have Mr. Jeff Doefler, the deputy head of the Aga Khan Academy Hyderabad. He moved from the States and was a part of the Woodstock School, India, for 13 years as the Dean of Student Life, deputy head of the school, senior boys basketball coach, and head of the residential program. I see the mountain load of work carries to the academy too. So, welcome, Mr. Jeff, to the Beyond the Screen podcast.
Thank you.
So, first off, could you briefly introduce yourself and tell us about your role as the deputy head of the academy?
Sure. So I've lived in India for 18 years
Hmm.
and I've been at the academy. This is my sixth academic year. And the best way to think of my role is my goal is always to make sure students are happy and well prepared to do their best in learning. So anything that is purely not teaching in the classroom is what my role entails.
In your experience as an educator, what skills are most important for students to develop during their teenage years?
So, yes, a lot of parents seem to think that just whatever marks they get on a certain exam are all that matters,
Yeah.
and even some students. That is important. There's a reality to having to pass exams and get marks. But what will make students successful later in life, there are many things far more important than that. So I think students learning social skills, students learning how to collaborate, the society we live in today, I don't know a job that exists where you don't have to collaborate with others. So teaching social skills has to be a part of education.
When you observe successful students, what qualities tend to stand out the most to you?
So I think one factor is always successful students have intrinsic motivation.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone is not sure what that means their motivation comes from within themselves, meaning they're not doing their homework because their parents telling them, their dorm parent, their teacher. They're doing it because they want to excel on their own. That's probably the number one trait because as students get older in their teenage years, like
Yeah.
with any other behavior, they listen less to adults.
Yeah.
They're getting more mature. They're starting to have a mind of their own.
Mm.
So if they're motivated to work on their own, that's number one sign of a successful student. It doesn't mean other students can't be successful.
Yeah.
Every student may need support at one time or the other.
Hmm.
Nobody can be perfectly motivated every day, even adults,
Yeah.
right? We come into our job, some days we're 100% motivated, other days we need some kind of help. So not
Mm.
anybody is only has intrinsic motivation.
Yeah.
They do need help from others.
Mm.
But in general, a successful student will have that motivation on their own. Secondly, in an environment like the academy,
Yeah.
I think a successful student has a genuine appreciation for others and diversity, pluralism,
Mm.
because that will also take them far in life. Because when teaching about cultural things, maybe outside of the academy, people are lucky if they can even tolerate other religions
Yeah.
and other mindsets. Here, that would be the lowest level we would expect is that somebody can tolerate somebody else.
Yeah.
Here, we expect far more than that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's an important skill that students need
Mm-hmm.
outside of the classroom.
Okay. How important are skills such as critical thinking, communication, leadership skills, uh, decision making in students, and just overall development?
So I think that's also critical, again, for being successful in college and life.
Mm.
I think one of the unique traits of the academy is a lot of schools say they're student leaders,
Yeah.
but we say that, but the students actually lead. They
Mm.
really take on responsibilities and tasks.
Mm.
There's a big difference. And also, the students do it not because they have to do it
Yeah.
for their college application. Of
Mm.
course, sometimes that might be a small part of their motivation. I need
Yeah.
something to do. But genuinely, if students are passionate about something, again, they're doing it from within. They're not doing it just for that
Yeah.
university application. And student leadership here is definitely like that.
Mm.
The students oftentimes are the ones helping and reminding the adults when things need to get done. motivating other students with whatever project they're working on.
Mm. Do you believe these skills can be developed outside of traditional classroom environments? Why or why not?
I would say they must be developed outside of traditional
Yeah.
classroom environments. All the things I've talked about
Yeah.
happen to a certain degree in the classroom. But see, in the classroom, maybe it's a theoretical discussion
Mm.
about it. What happens outside the classroom makes it real.
Yeah.
Students are actually leading, they're actually doing things,
Mm.
they're actually living pluralism.
Yeah.
I know outside of this school, so many schools talk about how there's a big divide between different religions.
Yeah.
And here, for the most part, it's not even a topic of conversation, meaning people are so comfortable with each other. It's not like you're a Hindu or you're a Christian or you're a
Mm.
Muslim. Nobody thinks like that. It's
Mm.
just like you're another student at the academy, and
Yeah.
maybe that's your religion, but that's not what we talk about on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. So it's like classrooms are where they learn things, and then the real world is where they apply them.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why we have programs like experiential learning,
Yeah.
outdoor education,
Mm.
along with all the internships and leadership opportunities that we have.
Yeah. Video games are often viewed as primarily as entertainment. From an educational perspective, do you think they can also provide learning opportunities?
Well, learning is a key word. I'm not sure how much kids learn from that.
Mm.
Um, if I were to change the word to are they simply all good or all bad, the
Mm.
question, they're not all good or all bad, definitely.
Mm.
There are some good aspects of gaming,
Yeah.
right? It's been proven it can even help some cognitive skills,
Yeah.
certain games. So in that way, it's good. However, like any source of dopamine, I don't know
Mm.
if you're familiar with
Yeah.
dopamine. Video games can be a dopamine rush.
Mm.
And so if you rely on only video games for your dopamine rush,
Mm.
then can become addictive.
Mm.
And that's when it leads to a problem. Like anything in life, something that's good can also be bad. It depends on, should be done in moderation.
Okay.
And I think, yes, somebody who games occasionally or on the holiday a bit, but just from time to time, not more, you can't put a number on it.
Yeah.
But somebody who can control it, and maybe they do it if they have nothing better to do.
Mm.
But what worries me is when I see students who do it in place of other things, like a student who
Mm.
doesn't go out and play sports,
Yeah.
they don't go to social events, they maybe don't do their homework, and they
Yeah.
spend all their time gaming.
Yeah.
I would be very worried about that student. A student who does all those things and then maybe games
Yeah.
occasionally, it can be a good stress release.
Yeah.
But I think the key is somebody has to monitor that.
Mm.
The parents, the student themselves, or like for us in our residential program, we really
Yeah.
try to look out for individual students
Yeah.
that spend too much time gaming.
Mm. So it's like gaming can have pros where you learn things, and develop skills, but there's also cons to it, like where you replace your real world tasks with just getting that dopamine.
Yes, it can also be an escape. I
Mm.
have too much homework. I don't feel
Yeah.
like doing it. I don't want to think about it. I'm just going to game and not worry about it.
Uh,
That's an escape. Like I
yeah.
said, if that's for a short period of time,
It's fine.
yeah, let's say maybe you're really stressed about something, you game for 15, 20 minutes. Okay, now I'm ready to focus.
Mm.
But when it becomes a problem is when it's overused or unmonitored as well. The other thing that gaming does, it can desensitize teenagers to all sorts of things because once you hear something over and over, let's say student plays a video game that has bad words in it,
Yeah.
whatever bad words you might want
Yeah.
to choose, but if they game and hear it over and over and over and over and over,
Mm.
or if it has misogynistic comments
Yeah.
over and over and over, then your brain, like I said, the word is desensitized.
Yeah.
That word is not shocking anymore.
Mm.
Whereas maybe if you say it to an adult, they would be, "What are you saying?"
Yeah.
But students don't even then realize they're saying it because their brain has become so accustomed to it
Yeah.
that they just say it in inappropriate times.
Mm.
So that's when I would get worried. Um,
Have you observed any skills or behaviors in student who regularly praise strategic or team-based video games? If you know anyone who does.
I do know some students that play more of the problem solving,
Yeah.
strategic games,
Yeah.
and research would say those can actually help
Mm.
But even those, I believe, are only good in moderation.
Yeah. Anything within a
So,
limit.
yes, and I think more importantly, a student has to be well rounded. See,
Yeah.
if there's a student, and let's say I know they play football, I know they read books
Mm.
from time to time, I know they hang out with their friends,
Yeah.
and their mindset is maybe I game when I have absolutely nothing else to do.
Yeah.
That's my last choice. If
Yeah.
I can't do any of those things, I'll game because I'm bored.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah. It's
It's
like,
about, but if it's, again, I kind of said this earlier in a different way, but if a student chooses gaming first and then
yeah.
says, I don't want to go out with friends,
Yeah.
I'm going to quit the football
Mm.
team, I'm not going to read anymore
Yeah.
because I have to game, then it's very concerning.
Yeah. So when gaming collides with your real world tasks, you could say.
Yeah, or if it replaces other sources of good dopamine. There's good and bad dopamine,
Yeah.
right? There are good ways to get dopamine, bad
Yeah.
ways. So hanging out with friends is a good rush for kids.
Mm.
They like hanging out with their friends,
Mm.
but that's a good way to get it. Gaming is can be a bad way if it's over abused.
Are there any particular types of games that you believe are more likely to develop transferable skills than others?
Well, I can't honestly say because I don't play that many games,
Yeah.
but I have seen just a small example, like a lot of the football team boys play FIFA
Yeah.
online. And actually, even though it's not the physical skills, there are a lot of strategies,
Mm.
techniques, tactics they can
Yeah.
learn from the online game.
Yeah.
So in that way, that could actually be helpful.
Mm.
So I think sporting games, I can see some value in it.
Mm. Where they can learn from those games and
Yeah, and
apply
they're
it.
not violent. It doesn't have any
Yeah.
of those things I talked about. It
Yeah.
doesn't have bad words. It doesn't have
Violence.
inappropriate situations, violence.
Yeah.
So I think if I were to choose, I'd rather somebody be playing that as opposed to one of these games, whatever the current one is, where they shoot people and curse and all those things.
Yeah. Many strategic games require teamwork and communication. Do you think these experiences can help students collaborate more effectively in school settings?
No, I don't. I don't think they actually help with teamwork because
Hmm.
the video game would not help nearly as much as real life situations.
Hmm.
It might help in a very minuscule amount,
Hmm.
but not so much. It'd be the other way around. The teamwork you learn in person may help you when you're playing a video game, but I don't think if somebody only plays video
Yeah.
games, I don't think they're going to learn how to collaborate and use teamwork with others.
So they may actually learn more teamwork in real life
They
doing
will.
in school settings
Yes.
than in video games. And they
Yeah.
might apply that teamwork that they've learned in school in video games.
Yes.
That's
And by school setting, I mean all
interesting.
the things we talked
Yeah.
about, not just the classroom.
Hmm.
Experiential learning,
Yeah.
leadership roles, internships,
Sports, stuff
sports,
like that.
everything. That's
Hmm.
one of the reasons we have our experiential learning program.
Have you seen examples of students applying skills learned outside the classroom, such as from sports, clubs, or gaming within academic environments?
Definitely, and they may not always know it,
Yeah.
but as a coach, I always try to point out that the same things that make you successful in a
Hmm.
sport
Yeah.
will make you successful in the classroom.
Yeah.
So sometimes students don't realize that. They
Hmm.
think, well, of course, if we want to win the football tournament, we have to practice hard.
Yeah.
We need to practice regularly. We have to do it
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
But they don't transfer that always to the classroom.
Yeah.
Sometimes in academics, they think, oh, I'll just cram the night before the test.
Yeah.
So I often use this when I meet students in counseling, academic counseling, and say, listen, would you do that for football? No, you don't. You can't go play football 8 hours a night before a tournament.
Yeah.
You would say, how dumb. What a
Yeah.
dumb idea, Mr. Jeff. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So why would you do that for academics?
Hmm.
It also doesn't work.
Yeah.
But kids, for some reason, don't think that way when they
Yeah.
should. So I think more coaches, more adults should use these examples from sports and
Yeah.
outside of classroom activities to
Hmm.
get students to realize that whether you learn a sport, whether you learn a musical instrument,
Yeah.
it's all the same
Hmm.
as learning in the classroom.
Yeah.
But I don't know, there are a lot of false assumptions of students about how they learn in the classroom. They think they can just do it the night before.
Yeah.
So I think putting it into these real life contexts actually helps them.
Strategic games often require players to make decisions under high pressure and adapt to changing situations. How valuable are these abilities in education or even after, so in later life?
Hmm. I'm not sure that they directly help in later life. They can also lead to some negative things
Mhm.
because it also leads to instant gratification,
Yeah.
which you don't always get. There are very few students now. Once the new phone comes out, they have to get it immediately.
Mm,
That's instant gratification. I need it right now. I
mm,
can't even wait 2 weeks. I have to get it the day it comes out. Now, if that only happens once, it's fine. But
mm.
in a video game, you can get instant gratification
Yeah.
all the time, anytime you want it, right?
Yeah.
And that can be a pattern for your brain to get into, that I need my reward or whatever it is right away.
Yeah.
And life doesn't work that way. Students have to work a long time to get to university to get an acceptance.
Mm,
We just had the IB exam results. Students had to work 2 hard years to get those results.
yeah.
So there's no instant gratification for that. They have to work long and hard for it. And then they get the university acceptance.
Mm.
That would never happen in a video game. It's very
So
short-term gratification.
it's not like video games where you immediately just kill a player and you get that dopamine
Yeah,
hit. It takes a while to get what you want,
yeah.
right?
And again, if done in moderation, that won't lead to behaviors outside of the gaming.
Mm.
But if you play too much, it may happen without the student even realizing it.
Games put a lot of players under high pressure moments, right? They have these moments where they don't know what to do now, and they have to suddenly adapt between environments. They have to do this or that, and suddenly just have a lot on their mind. Do you think what they learn from those scenarios can be used in school or
No,
learning?
I think my philosophy for all these things is you have to learn that outside of gaming, and it might help you in the game. But
Mhm.
it definitely doesn't work the other way around. I don't think you can learn that from gaming.
Do you believe leadership skills can be developed through activities such as gaming?
I don't think so, because gaming, you can't really be a leader
Hmm.
online. Let's say you're the best player at something.
Yeah.
Does that make you a leader? Not really.
Hmm.
Not anything that would transfer to real life. So
Hmm.
you're the best player at Royal Clash.
Yeah.
That's not going to transfer to being a leader in any real life activity.
Yeah.
You're just known because you're good at that particular game.
Hmm.
So it might give you some identity.
Hmm.
Oh, this person's really good at that game,
Hmm.
or this person's the best one at FIFA.
Hmm.
But it won't transfer
Hmm.
outside of gaming.
So it's like in gaming, whoever's the best is the leader, but in real life, it's who can lead the best and bring his whole team up is the leader.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say even if you're the best at a game, I don't think students would automatically view that student as a leader.
Yeah.
They would just say, "Oh, they're good at that."
Hmm.
I don't think it would. I don't think it would help them be viewed as a real leader.
Hmm. While there are benefits, many educators and parents also worry about excessive gaming. What do you think is the key to maintaining a healthy balance between gaming and real life?
So I talked about this a little bit before, but
Hmm.
parents have to be really in touch with when their kids are gaming and for
Yeah.
how long.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they need to stand over their shoulder every
Yeah.
second, but whenever possible, they should set limits.
Yeah.
And maybe if they're not home all the time, they
Mm.
should at least look for other signs. Like, let's say the parents weren't home, but when they come back, the child hasn't slept all night.
Yeah.
So trying to figure out, was that because they were gaming? Were they
Mm.
talking to friends? What were
Mm.
they doing?
Mm.
Like, I think all adults have to look for these. There are warning signs if
Yeah.
somebody's excessively gaming, just like
Yeah.
any other addiction.
Yeah.
There'll be signs, and we have to
Yeah.
look out for them. Not sleeping, not performing well,
Mm.
withdrawing from others.
Mm. It's like they're restricting themselves from doing things that they have to.
Right.
Okay.
And sometimes they may need restrictions
Mm.
to ensure, if a student can't see, some students are very good at self-regulating,
Mm.
others need support for that. So
Yeah.
if a child can't do it themselves, then they may need the parent or the other adult to limit their time that they have the game. Like,
Mm.
actually take the PS5, lock it in the cupboard, for a
Yeah.
certain number of hours during the day and say,
Yeah.
fine, for 2 hours you can play it, then that's it.
Yeah.
But the best solution is always self-regulation,
Hmm.
because that will carry the student over to life. Because
Yeah.
at some point, students will go to university, they'll be on their own.
Hmm.
They need to learn that at some point.
They have to start taking care of
Yeah.
themselves and limiting themselves.
And that's much more powerful if they
Yeah.
do it themselves.
Hmm. In your opinion, what separates productive gaming habits from unhealthy gaming habits?
Well, I think we've covered most of it, but just
Yeah.
just the amount of time, pure
Hmm.
and simple, the amount of time you game says it all.
Yeah.
If you game, I can't put a number on it, but it depends on what else is happening.
Hmm.
See, like during the holiday may be different than
Yeah.
during school.
Yes.
During school, I don't think kids should game at all during the week unless it's some small little time pass game that you play for
Yeah.
10 or 15 minutes while you're just to get that little short relaxation
Yeah.
break. Those little time pass games are fine.
Yeah.
But other than that, I would say during the school week, students shouldn't game at all.
Hmm.
Then maybe on the weekend, they can, no student can study 16 hours a day, even on the
Yeah.
weekend. So as long as they have a balanced weekend where they've had social activities,
Hmm.
physical exercise of some sort, and they do some gaming and then they also do academic work, it's fine.
Yeah. So, based on your experience working with teacher for so long, do you believe strategic video games can help teenagers develop some useful real world skills? Any, if possible.
Perhaps, but I would say there are far better ways to develop those
Hmm.
skills
Okay.
than gaming.
Hmm.
Even though they might get some advantage from that, I don't think it has the impact
It's very
of,
minute.
yeah.
Hmm.
So I would say from in my opinion,
Hmm.
video games in moderation
Yeah.
may relieve stress from time to time
Yeah.
in moderation. It's just
Yeah.
a fun something to do, time pass.
Hmm.
It can relieve stress that way.
Hmm.
The danger is just whether it becomes excessive or not.
If you could give one piece of advice to students who enjoy gaming, what would that be?
Same theme, just first of all, do it with a group of people that think in a similar manner.
Hmm.
So, like if you game with students who all really want to excel in studies,
Yeah.
then that's your group to game with.
Hmm.
I think in that way it can be a good social activity because
Yeah.
then it's more likely that the group will help it be in moderation.
Yeah.
Maybe you're gaming for an hour, then somebody says, "Oh, now we better study."
Yeah.
Okay. I worry more about students who game alone
Hmm.
and they're just gaming with strangers online.
Yeah.
Then I would be highly concerned about it.
So when they isolate, when they don't really talk with their peers and they play
Yeah, and they're
alone.
isolated to people they don't even know. They're just
Yeah.
gaming for the sake of it. There's no
Mhm.
real social impact. Then I would get worried about them.
Okay. So thank you, Mr. Jeff, for being on this podcast. It was an honor. So
Sure.
thank you.
My pleasure.